माधवा कुंज बिहारी।
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी।
राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी।
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी।
जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी।
जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी।
गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी।
जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी।
यशोदानंदन व्रजजनरञ्जन।
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 यमुना तीरावनचारी।
यमुना तीरावनचारी।
यमुना तीरावनचारी।
यमुना तीरावनचारी।
राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी।
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी।
राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी।
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी।
गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी।
जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी।
गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी।
जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी।
यशोदानंदन व्रजजनरञ्जन।
यशोदानंदन व्रजजनरञ्जन।
यशोदानंदन व्रजजनरञ्जन।
यशोदानंदन व्रजजनरञ्जन।
यशोदानंदन व्रजजनरञ्जन।
यशोदानंदन व्रजजनरञ्जन।
यमुना तीरावनचारी।
यमुना तीरावनचारी।
यमुना तीरावनचारी।
यमुना तीरावनचारी।
राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी।
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी।
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
मंत्रा श्रीमद्-भागवतम की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवति उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। Reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, first canto, 11th chapter, text number 11. Madhu bhoja dasharharha, madhu bhoja dasharharha, कुकुरान्धका वृष्णिभिः, कुकुरान्धक वृष्णिभिः, आत्मा तुल्य बलैर्गुप्ताम्, आत्मतुल्य बलैर्गुप्ताम्, नागैर्भोगवतीम् इव, नागैर्भोगवतीमिव। मधुभोजदशार्हार्हा, कुकुरान्धकवृष्णिभिः, आत्मतुल्यबलैर्गुप्ताम्, नागैर्भोगवतीमिव। मधुभोजदशार्हार्हा, कुकुरान्धकवृष्णिभिः, आत्मतुल्यबलैर्गुप्ताम्, नागैर्भोगवतीमिव। मधुभोजदशार्हार्हा, कुकुरान्धकवृष्णिभिः, आत्मतुल्यबलैर्गुप्ताम्, नागैर्भोगवतीमिव। मधुभोजदशार्हार्हा, कुकुरान्धकवृष्णिभिः, आत्मतुल्यबलैर्गुप्ताम्, मधु मधु भोज भोज दशार्ह दशार्ह अर्ह अर्ह कुकुर कुकुर अंधक अंधक वृष्णिभिः, by the descendants of Vrishni, Atmatulya, as good as himself, Balaihi, by strength, Guptam, protected, Nagaihi, by the Nagas, Bhogavatim, the capital of Nagalok, Eva, like, Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Translation. As Bhogavati, the capital of Nagalok, is protected by the Nagas, so was Dwarka protected by the descendants of Vrishni, Bhoja, Madhu, Dasharha, Arha, Kukura, Andhaka, etc., who were as strong as Lord Krishna. Please repeat. As Bhogavati, the capital of Nagalok, is protected by the Nagas, so was Dwarka protected by the descendants of Vrishni, Bhoja, Madhu, Dasharha, Arha, Kukura, Andhaka, etc., who were as strong as Lord Krishna. Purport. The Nagalok planet is situated below the Earth planet, and it is understood that the sun rays are hampered there. The darkness of the planet is, however, removed by the flashes of the jewels set on the heads of the Nagas, celestial serpents. And it is said that there are beautiful gardens, rivulets, etc., for the enjoyment of the Nagas. It is understood here also that the place is well protected by the inhabitants. So also the city of Dwarka was well protected by the descendants of Vrishni, who were as powerful as the Lord, insofar as he manifested his strength upon this earth. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Sarasvate Deve Gaurvani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Lord Krishna is entering the Dwarka, and the description is given of the city of Dwarka. Every city is protected by some people, and specifically the comparison is given with Bhogavati, which is the capital of Nagalok. Why the example of Bhogavati only is given? Because these defenders, the Nagas of Bhogavati, they are very, very strong, extremely strong. And the descriptions of this city are given in the Vedic literatures. And it is also explained that Arjuna also had a wife who belonged to the Nagalok. If I am not wrong, the name was Ulupi. And Bhima also, he was able to go to the Nagalok. The Kauravas, they wanted to poison when they were very young. So, but Bhima's body naturally was immensely powerful. And even though Bhima was poisoned, but poison could not kill him. Poison was only temporarily effective in making Bhima unconscious. He felt very sleepy. So otherwise, many men would have killed by that dose of poison. But Bhima was so strong, he simply felt sleepy and he slept off very deeply. He fell unconscious. And in this way, Kauravas became very happy that their plot is successful. And they threw Bhima in the water, the dead body. They assumed Bhima was dead. And then somehow Bhima reached through the waters the shores of the Nagalok. So there are various dimensions of which we have little understanding. So Bhima was able to reach Nagalok. And when the guardians of the Nagalok, they saw uninvited guest in the form of Bhima, they started biting him immediately. And by their bite, it acted as counter poison. So Bhima was given herbal poison, and then this was snake poison. So one poison sometimes counteract the other's poison. So whatever effect that herbal poison had, when the snakes they had bitten Bhima, he woke up, and that effect of poison got nullified. And then Bhima started beating the snakes, black and blue, and they got to know who is this person, because the Nagas are so powerful. A human being has come and he is demolishing snakes like anything. So they came out, and then they discover about Bhima. And one of the Nagas, he recognizes that Bhima was actually his relative, because this Naga had come to the earth and he had spent a long time living as a human being on this planet. So sometimes we hear in the tales or in the fables that the snakes who can change forms. So this is actually fact. These are very, very powerful snakes. And when Arjuna's son, he came to fight the battle of Kurukshetra, he was also taking various forms and fighting with the Kaurava army. So they are very, very powerful. And in this way, this person, because he lived on the planet Earth, he was able to recognize, oh, this is Bhima. And thus they wanted to do Bhima some favor. And they made him drink a special drink of the Nagalok. And if anyone drinks this, he becomes immensely powerful. And this is how Bhima got the strength of 10,000 elephants, because he was able to drink the special drink of the Nagas. Thus, instead of getting weakened, or actually they were supposed to kill Bhima, Bhima returned out more strongly. He became much, much more powerful. Even without that, he was single-handedly defeating all the Kauravas. But now Bhima was having strength of 10,000 elephants. In this way, this is the brief interest. So here and there we find the descriptions of Nagalok. But where is Nagalok? If we dig the earth, what do we find? There is no space. So where is question of Nagalok? We may find some earthworms here and there, some insects. But where is Lok? Where is the question of city being protected? Like it is told here, Dwarka city was protected. No. So that is why we have to improve our understanding. The earth's mantle, as we have studied in our geography books, that is not perfect. It was a simple understanding which was given to us at that point of time. But now with modern sciences, we are able to understand better. And now the scientists have discovered that a mountain range much taller than Himalayas exists within the Earth's surface. How tall are the Himalayas? 8848, 8820 something. So almost 9 kilometers. And how tall would be the hill? Can any hill be there within the earth? Within the earth there is only mud, right? Mud and rock slabs. This is what we perceive. So this is called Shastra Chakshusha. We cannot see directly what is there within the earth, but we have read, earth's crust is there, then mantle is there, core is there, all these things are there. We did not study hill. How is hill possible? It is completely solid sphere, the earth. But this is wrong understanding. And now the scientists have discovered there is an entire mountain range within the earth planet. And these mountains are very tall. How much tall? 100 times taller than Himalayas. Can we imagine? 100 times taller. Which means around 800 kilometers. This is the height. So how is it possible? So now they have discovered. So as our sciences are approaching, we are able to understand and relate more with the descriptions of the Vedic literatures. And similarly, we find many, many oceans. But there is an ocean which is within the earth's surface, and this ocean is 3 times bigger than all the oceans put together, and deeper than the oceans which we have on the surface. So this ocean within the earth is much deeper, and it is 3 times bigger. So the ocean on the surface is not the biggest. The ocean within is much bigger, 3 times bigger. So we have oceans within, we have mountains, but somehow we cannot enter. If we enter, we might be able to see city also, which is described here. So that is why the perfect understanding of the world we have to get from the Vedic literatures. So what is this city? Let us try to understand the description from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So the planetary systems are explained in fifth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. The upper planetary systems, lower planetary systems. Earth is situated in the middle, just like on every floor of a building there are many flats. Similarly, on every level there are numerous planets. So entire universe is divided into 14 planets. We live in the middle. There is called Bhuloka. Higher than this is Bhuvarloka, then Swargloka, then Maharloka, then Tapaloka, Janaloka, and then Satyaloka. So above us we have 6, below us we have 7, total 14 planetary systems. So after describing what is there on the higher planetary systems, which living entities live there, now it is described the lower planetary systems. Eteshu hi bilasvargeshu swargadapi adhika kama bhogashwaryananda bhuti vibhuti bhi. So these lower planetary systems, they are called Bilaswarg. In these 7 planetary systems, which are also known as the subterranean heavens, Bilaswarga, there are very beautiful houses, gardens, and places of sense enjoyment, which are even more opulent than those in the higher planets. So Swarga is not just situated above us. Below us also there is Swarga. This is called Bilaswarga or the subterranean Swarga, which are even more opulent than those in the higher planets, because the demons have a very high standard of sensual pleasure, wealth and influence. So the living entities who live there are demons, Rakshasas, who are more demoniac, usually in general, and they are very tamasic in nature. Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita, Urdhva gachanti satvastha. Those who are sattvic, they are promoted to higher planets. So simply by having a machine, we cannot go to other planets. It needs qualification. If we have to stay there, we can visit, but we have to come back. So staying needs, just like we can have a tourist visa. But to live in America, it's not easy. They don't allow. It needs certain qualifications. Similarly, if we have to stay on the other planets, higher planets, then qualifications are required. So the more a person is qualified in Sattva Guna, the higher he goes. And the more a person cultivates Tamoguna, he goes to the lower regions, subterranean regions. Because the demons have very high standard of sensual pleasure, wealth and influence, most of the residents of these planets, who are known as Daityas, Danavas and Nagas, live as householders. Their wives, children, friends and society are all fully engaged in illusory material happiness. The sense enjoyment of the demigods is sometimes disturbed, but the residents of these planets enjoy life without disturbances. Thus they are understood to be very attached to illusory happiness. So the pleasures of the heavenly planets of the Devatas are disturbed, but the pleasures in lower planets are not disturbed. Why? Because who will disturb? They are only the causes of disturbance who are living in the lower planets. They go and keep disturbing the Devatas. So the Devatas are sometimes disturbed because of their attacks. But nobody goes them to those subterranean regions. So thus they are undisturbed in their happiness, and thus they are fully absorbed and attached to illusory happiness. My dear king, in the imitation heavens known as Bilaswarga, there is a great demon named Maya demon, Maya Danava, who is an expert artist and architect. He has constructed many brilliantly decorated cities. There are important wonderful houses, walls, gates, assembly houses, temples, yards, and temple compounds, as well as many hotels, serving as residential quarters for foreigners. The houses for the leaders of these planets are constructed with the most valuable jewels, and they are always crowded with living entities known as Nagas and Asuras, as well as many pigeons, parrots, and similar birds. All in all, these imitation heavenly cities are most beautifully situated and are attractively decorated. So is Maya Danav Just like we have Vishwakarma. Vishwakarma is the chief architect of heavenly planets. Similarly, Maya demon is the architect of the lower planetary systems. He has designed everything. And he is the only person who designed the palace of the Pandavas. Because he was saved from the forest fire by Krishna and Arjuna, he felt very obliged and he wanted to do some favor. Thus, Krishna requested. Arjuna did not want. He told, as a matter of duty, I have done. Krishna told, okay, if you want to return a favor, build a very nice palace. And thus he made a very unique palace, which was having many, many illusions. And thus Duryodhana, mistaking land for water or water for land, he drenched himself. So thus there also there are houses, walls, gates, assembly houses, temples. Temples are also there. So Danavas, Asuras, they also have temples? Yes. So without worshipping in the temple, such extraordinary power is not possible. So they also worship. The only problem is they will not worship Krishna. They will worship anybody else. So they worship other demigods, demigoddesses, but they don't worship Krishna. So they also have temples. They have birds, pigeons, parrots, everything. So these are imitation of the heavenly planets. The parks and the gardens in the artificial heavens surpass in beauty those of the upper heavenly planets. The trees in those gardens, embraced by creepers, bend with a heavy burden of twigs, with fruits and flowers, and therefore they appear extraordinarily beautiful. That beauty could attract anyone and make his mind fully blossom in the pleasure of sense gratification. There are many lakes and reservoirs with clear transparent water, agitated by jumping fish, and decorated with many flowers such as lilies, kuvalayas, kahalaras, and blue and red lotuses. Pairs of chakravakas and many other water birds nest in the lakes and always enjoy in a happy mood, making sweet, pleasing vibrations that are very satisfying and conducive to enjoyment of the senses. So they have fishes, they have birds, everything is there. However, yatra havava na bhayam aho ratradibi kala vibhagair upalakshyate. There is one difference between the higher planets, heavens of the higher planets, and this Bilaswarga. What is the difference? There is no sunshine. So it is good or bad? There is no sunshine. Why bad? For us it is bad because we want vitamin D and other things. But their bodies are different. They can survive without vitamin D. All bodies don't need it. So this is better. Why it is better? Since there is no sunshine in those subterranean planets, time is not divided into days and nights, and consequently fear produced by time does not exist. So just imagine there are no clocks. You are happy? Nothing is there. So only because we have time we become anxious. Oh, I spent 1 hour, 2 hour, 5 hour, 1 day, 1 year, 5 years. There is no calculation at all. There is no sun. They are happy. Time is simply passing and they are enjoying. So in this way they are much more blissful than the Devatas. Devatas, see, they also have day and night. But lower planetary systems, no day, no night. So we can understand also, just like you will see in your college, people are completely drunk in their room. They don't know when the sun has come up, when the sun has gone down. For them, also time does not exist. So similar situation is here. So this is also happiness, but this is happiness in ignorance. Because they are not able to see the sun or the passing of time, they think time does not exist. But then it does not mean they have become immortal. Death comes, they also have limitation, but simply they close their eyes to the motion of the sun, which controls the motion of the time disk. So fear produced by time does not exist. Just like a person who is sleeping, he is not at all fearful of his affairs, of his tensions, anxieties. Similar kind of happiness is enjoyed. This happiness is happiness in ignorance. Yatra hi mahahi pravarashiro manayah sarvam tama prabadhante. Many great serpents reside there with gems on their hoods, and the effulgence of these gems dissipates the darkness in all directions. Then what is the source of light? The source of light are the jewels on the hoods of the serpents. looks like they produce light. That dissipates darkness in all directions. Is it possible to have a jewel that produces light instead of reflecting light? Yes, everything is possible. Since the residents of these planets drink and bathe in juices and elixirs made from wonderful herbs, they are freed from all anxieties and physical diseases. They have no experience of grey hair, wrinkles, or invalidity. Their bodily lusters do not fade. Their perspiration does not cause a bad smell, and they are not troubled by fatigue or by lack of energy or enthusiasm due to old age. So just see. Life is so nice. They don't have wrinkles. Skin does not shrivel up. No grey hairs. And always body is full of energy, full of enthusiasm, full of vigor. There is no fatigue also. And when they perspire, it does not produce foul smell. It is fragrant. They live very auspiciously and do not fear death from anything but death's established time, which is the effulgence of Sudarshan Chakra of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Prabhupada explains this is the defect of material existence. So everything is very nicely arranged in these lower planetary systems. There are well-situated residential quarters, there is a pleasing atmosphere, and there are no bodily inconveniences or mental anxieties. But nevertheless, those who live there have to take another birth according to karma. Persons whose minds are dull cannot understand this defect of a materialistic civilization aiming at material comforts. One may make his living conditions very pleasing for the senses, but despite all favorable conditions, one must in due course of time meet death. The members of a demoniac civilization endeavor to make their living conditions very comfortable, but they cannot check death. The influence of the Sudarshan Chakra will not allow their so-called material happiness to endure. Then one may wonder, what is the problem in becoming a demon and asura? Live there, life is so nice, without disturbance. So the problem is that it is temporary. This too will end. Similar, just like people live in the college, they are simply intoxicated, sleeping, and they don't care for passage of time. 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 8 years in the college. But then ultimately they have to pass, they have to leave. And once they leave, the situation is very grim. So that is the situation of these Danavas. They are blinded. They don't understand the passage of time, don't understand they cannot stay there always. And when time is there to move out, they have to leave all these comforts. So that is why intelligent student does not remain in ignorance, prepares for future life. Similarly, intelligent living entities, they prepare for future life. Understand that even though I am very happy now, this happiness is not going to continue. When the Sudarshan disc enters those provinces, the pregnant wives of the demons all have miscarriages due to fear of its effulgence. This is the only fear they have. When their time is over, then Sudarshan Chakra will enter. So as soon as they see the effulgence, they understand now we are finished. And the wives of demons get so much scared, they have miscarriages. My dear king, now I shall describe to you the lower planetary systems one by one, beginning from Atal. In Atal there is a demon, the son of Maya Danava, named Bala, who created 96 kinds of mystic power. Some so-called yogis and swamis take advantage of this mystic power to cheat people even today. So these people of the lower planetary systems, they are very expert in magical powers, mystic powers. And the son of this architect, chief architect Maya, his name is Bala, he created 96 kinds of magics, mystical powers. And some so-called swamis of this planet, of our time and space, they are deriving those powers and thus they attract and influence people. And we think they are very advanced spiritualists. So no, we have to understand material power has got nothing to do with spiritual power and spiritual advancement. So conjuring some tricks, moving from here to there, becoming invisible, light, attaining any so-called material success, controlling people. So all these transforming your forms and various other magical powers, these are only magics. What is magic? Magic is material phenomena which we don't understand. It is another material phenomena. It has got nothing to do with spiritual life. These are demons actually. They are against the supremacy of the Supreme Lord. So one should not fall by seeing such magic tricks. Some of the so-called yogis and swamis take advantage of this mystic power to cheat people even today. And unfortunately, the masses think that they are spiritualists. They are not spiritualists. They are following in the footsteps, and thus these people, they will tell there is no God, I am God, you are God, everyone is God. So these are the statements they will tell. They will not tell we are servants of God, we have to love and serve God. Simply by yawning, the demon Bala created three kinds of women known as Swarini, Kamini and Punchchali. The Swarinis like to marry men from their own group. The Kaminis marry men from any group, and the Punchchalis change husbands one after another. If a man enters the planet of Atal, these women immediately capture him and induce him to drink an intoxicating beverage made with a drug known as Hataka. This intoxicant endows the man with great sexual prowess, of which the women take advantage for enjoyment. A woman will enchant him with attractive glances, intimate words, smiles of love, and then embraces. In this way, she induces him to enjoy sex with her to her full satisfaction. Because of his increased sexual power, the man thinks himself stronger than 10,000 elephants and considers himself most perfect. Indeed, delusioned and intoxicated by false pride, he thinks himself God, ignoring impending death. So, the normal worldly pleasures are available in plenty. The next planet below Atal is Vital. Who lives in Vital? Lord Shiva. Wherein Lord Shiva, who is known as the master of gold mines, lives with his personal associates, the ghosts and similar living entities. Lord Shiva, as the progenitor, engages in sex with Bhavani, the progenitress, to produce living entities. And from the mixture of their vital fluid, the river named Hataki is generated. When fire being made to blaze by the wind drinks of this river and then sizzles and spits it out, it produces gold named Hataka. The demons who live on that planet with their wives decorate themselves with various ornaments made from that gold, and thus they live there very happily. Below the planet Vitala is another planet known as Sutala. Who is there on Sutala? We just discussed in the last class. Bali Maharaj. Who is Bali Maharaj? Grandson of Prahlāda Mahārāja, the Mahajan. Sutala, where the great son of Maharaj Virochan, Bali Maharaj, who is celebrated as the most pious king, resides even now. For the welfare of Indra, the king of heaven, Lord Vishnu, appeared in the form of a dwarf brahmachari as the son of Aditi and tricked Bali Maharaj by begging for only 3 paces of land, but taking all the 3 worlds. Being very pleased with Bali Maharaj for giving his possessions, the Lord returned his kingdom and made him richer than the opulent king Indra. Even now, Bali Maharaj engages in devotional service by worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the planet of Sutala. So Bali Maharaj is exceptional because even though he is born into the family of demons, he is a pure devotee. And in Sutala, he is worshipping the Supreme Lord. Bali Maharaj donated all his possessions to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vaman Dev, but one should certainly not conclude that he achieved his great worldly opulence in Bila Swarga as a result of his charitable disposition. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the source of life for all living entities, lives within everyone as the friendly Supersoul, and under his direction, a living entity enjoys or suffers in the material world. Greatly appreciating the transcendental qualities of the Lord, Bali Maharaj offered everything at his lotus feet. His purpose, however, was not to gain anything material, but to become a pure devotee. For a pure devotee, the door of liberation is automatically opened. One should not think that Bali Maharaj was given so much material opulence merely because of his charity. When one becomes a pure devotee in love, he may also be blessed with a good material position by the will of the Supreme Lord. However, one should not mistakenly think that the material opulence of a devotee is the result of his devotional service. The real result of devotional service is the awakening of pure love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which continues under all circumstances. So Bali Maharaj is supremely opulent, more opulent than Indra. So one should not think because he offered everything, he did charity to the Supreme Lord, thus he got this opulence. No. The devotional service for Supreme Lord is done to get pure love of Krishna, and that only is going to satisfy us. But when we engage in devotional service, we get byproducts also. Material happiness follows automatically. And this material happiness which is given to the devotees, it is not exactly in the destiny of the devotee. Whatever any other devata would give by worshipping them, that anyway was destined to us. It would have come in future, but it comes now by the blessings of the devatas. But the material opulence which is given by the Supreme Lord, even though the devotee is not destined to have it, the devotee can have by his mercy. However, this is not the real result of following devotional service. So devotional service should not be done to get material opulence. However, opulence follows automatically. If one who is embarrassed by hunger or who falls down or stumbles chants the holy name of the Lord even once, willingly or unwillingly, he is immediately freed from the reactions of his past deeds. Karmis entangled in material activities face many difficulties in the practice of mystic yoga and other endeavors to achieve the same freedom. So here it is explained that how devotional service is so powerful. That somebody who is embarrassed by hunger or who falls down or stumbles and chants the holy name, even once, willingly or unwillingly, he is immediately freed from the reactions of his past deeds. So how much ever opulent we can become, material opulence we can have, we cannot get freedom from karma. So thus the distress continues in life. The people who are very rich, very successful, they are also distressed. So this is merely an illusion. If I have good standards for myself, I would not suffer. If I live in a good house, I live in a small house. Death is sure. The diseases are sure. Yes. Similarly, anxieties are also sure. So our happiness and distress does not change by changing our ambience around us. So this is very important point to be understood. That is why the devotee does not hanker for any material opulence. Material opulence is not the result. The first result of devotional service is one gets liberation from the control of laws of nature. These laws of nature only are creating all troubles and miseries in our life. And this is the first effect. The real effect is getting attachment for Supreme Lord, love of God. But the first effect is freedom from the laws of nature. And it is very, very difficult to attain this. However, this freedom is attained simply by chanting once the name of Supreme Lord helplessly without offenses. Either a person chants willingly or unwillingly. One stumbles across something, one falls down, one is embarrassed by hunger, and thus knowingly or unknowingly chants the name of God even once, he becomes freed from the laws of nature. The holy name is so powerful. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is situated in everyone's heart as the Super Soul, sells himself to his devotees such as Narad Muni. In other words, the Lord gives pure love to such devotees and gives himself to those who love him purely. Great self-realized mystic yogis such as the four Kumaras also derive great transcendental bliss from realizing the Super Soul within themselves. The Supreme Personality of Godhead did not award his mercy to Bali Maharaj by giving him material happiness and opulence, for these make one forget loving service to the Lord. The result of material opulence is that one can no longer absorb his mind in the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Rather, it is other way around. The material opulence, when we get, it is an impediment. So that is why we see people who are very, very rich, generally they don't take to devotional service because they get carried away they get intoxicated by the material opulence. And thus they are not able to depend on the Supreme Lord. They are not able to focus on devotional service. So the material opulences, they are impediments. That is why Kunti Maharani tells, Namo akinchan vittaya nivritta gunavrittaye. Namo akinchan vittaya. Vitt means wealth. Akinchan means, kinchan means one who has some wealth, some property here. Akinchan means one who has no property at all. So one who has no property at all, Krishna becomes his property. Namo akinchan vittaya. So thus Krishna tests the devotee, whether you wish to offer me your entire property or not. And when a devotee offers everything like Bali Maharaj, what was his property? Entire universe was his property. And he offered entire universe in the service of Krishna. And thus Krishna offered himself to Bali Maharaj. And even now he is standing as a doorkeeper. So when Ravana came to attack Bali Maharaj, he was conquering over all the 3 planetary systems. So Ravana was thrown a long distance away simply by the touch of the toe of Vamandev. So Ravana told, this doorkeeper is so powerful, how can I fight with this king? So let me go back from this place. There is no scope for me. So thus Lord offers himself. This is Lord's reciprocation. Lord tells, whatever you had, you offered it to me. Now whatever I have, I also will offer to you. And thus Lord becomes himself the servant of his devotee, out of his love, out of his affection. So that is why the most wonderful use, the best use of the opulence that we acquire in this world is use it in the service of the Supreme Lord. Anyway, that opulence is temporary. That does not make anyone happy. Person who is in depression, sitting in his or her house, you make those walls gold plated, will the depression go away? Make it diamond plated, will it go away? No. It has got nothing to do with our happiness. It is only an illusion. Because so much artificial value I create for the goals which I have made for myself, then I become happy. Just like a person, getting fake currency, they became happy. Oh, I'm rich. Only when they went to use, they understood it is of no use. It is fake currency. But because they thought this is real, I will enjoy. Similarly, this so-called enjoyment that we get in success in life, oh, I have got this job, I have got this business, I have got this man, I have got this woman, I have got this property. Because in foolishness, I think, oh, this is my currency for happiness, I become happy. Sooner do I realize it is not making me happy. I have attained all these things. So that is why these are impediments. The attainment of life is attaining love of God. But God's love, God can be attained only by the person who is having no property in the world. Namo akinchan vittaya. So no property means whatever property we have, I should think I am custodian. It should be used in the service of the Supreme Lord. Then a person is able to have Krishna as his property. And when Krishna becomes your property, what else is required in life? So this is the ultimate success, which the people of lower planetary systems, they do not know. Although their comforts of life are much greater, just like a person who is on drugs. He enjoys without any care, but because he or she is in delusion. Similar is the nature of enjoyment in the lower planetary systems. But those who are wise, they understand I am eternal. Why am I hankering for temporary enjoyment? God is my eternal relative. He is much more eager to revive our relation than what eagerness we have. So let us revive that relationship, and then that is real and perpetual happiness. With this we will end unless there are any questions. Yeah, we can have the mic so that online they are able to listen.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. So we say that if we do the bad karmas, then we will go to hell. Why we won't speak about the other lower planets? We only speak about the hell or the heaven in the higher planet. Why is that if there are so much opulences in the lower planetary system also?
Yeah.
So why we speak only about hell? Like we will suffer in hell or something like that.
Okay. So hell is different and the lower planets are different. That is not hell.
No, hell is also in the lower.
Hell is below all these 14 planetary systems.
Okay.
Yeah. So below Patal, there are hellish regions. And then there is no enjoyment in hell. Severe and most severe punishment. We cannot imagine how much torture is there in those hellish planetary systems. So even though you have to become just like we see, even on this planet, these demons, when they were ruling, how they became so powerful? They also followed the Vedas. So they also have their guru as Shukracharya.
Yeah.
So he also does all the rituals. They also have temples, as we discussed. So they also follow the rules and regulations of Vedas, but for material opulence. So any kind of opulence we have to enjoy here, we have to follow the Vedas. Just like the people who perform black arts. Black arts are mentioned in Vedas only. So you have to have any power, any material opulence, any material success, you have to follow Vedas. But the difference is those who are living on the higher planetary systems, they follow sattvic methods of worship in the Vedas. And the lower planetary system, they follow tamasic methods of worship. But everyone has to worship. So they worship primarily Lord Shiva. So thus they live in great opulence. Anybody who worships Lord Shiva, he will have great opulence, but they have to worship. But those who don't worship anybody, they don't believe in any injunction, any rule and regulation, they violate all the rules, they are thrown into hell.
Okay. But the Devtas also cannot achieve the transcendental platform in that life. They have to only human life is told to with the
Right.
injunction.
Yes.
So they are in the sattvic nature and they are worshipping Krishna. Then
Yes.
why are not they being transferred to the Supreme Personality of Godhead?
They can get transferred. So some people, they advance from there also. But usually they don't advance because they have so much of material opulence. The things that we discuss for lower planets, the same exists for higher planets also. There also old age is not perceived. They also remain young for almost the entirety of their life. And they also don't feel very much fatigued. And all these disturbances are very, very less. So suppose there is no disturbance in life. Why one will take to devotional service? Why will one fast on Ekadashi? Why do we fast on appearance, disappearance days? Why should we get up early in the morning when I can sleep for long hours? So when there is no misery in life, why should I take to all these austerities? So because of these unalloyed pleasures, it's not unalloyed, but pleasures are optimized highly over there. They don't take to devotional service. This is the reason. But those who are wise, they advance just like Narad Muni. He is living on those planets, 4 Kumaras on those planets, Saptarishis on those planets. So some of them advance. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Like you mentioned that mostly in these planets there is a lot of opulence and there is practically no disease and old age, right?
Correct.
So, and we know that Krishna is our greatest benefactor as well, right? So, like Krishna can also devise a place where there is no death.
Sorry. Yes.
Which will ensure that there is no birth, death, old age and disease.
Right.
And like we can enjoy perpetually, right?
Yes.
So what is the problem?
No problem. That place is called Vaikuntha-lok. Yeah, that is designed. So Krishna tells, come to this place. In this place, the energy known as time does not exist.
Right.
So you can live without old age, without death, without disease.
But is this not possible without Krishna in picture or without devotional service, just materially?
Not possible. Why? Because in material world, we don't want eternal life. You see here, people are committing suicide. They cannot even sustain. Somebody was asking that in Vedas it is told that we will remain with our life partner for 7 births. And how do we understand this? So I told, even for 1 birth, can you tolerate now? People are changing life partners many times, even in this 1 birth. So we don't want permanent life. We don't want eternal life. Otherwise, Krishna can do anything and everything. That is why for the devotees, pure devotees, even life here is eternal. They are not impacted by the laws of nature, pure devotees. Even though they live in this world, material world, just like Narad Muni. He has got a spiritual body. He can go anywhere and everywhere. There is no restriction for him. Because we don't want, that is why for us there is death. Why we don't want permanent life? Because we are never satisfied here. I am not the body, I am spirit soul. I always hanker, that position must be better. You saw in the news, there is a man who has designed very expertly, very expensive suit for himself. What is that suit? Dog suit. And I think he told his girlfriend, you make me do the morning walk. So he's walking in the dog dress like a dog, and the girlfriend is pulling him. So people want to behave like animals. Why like animal? Not satisfied in this body. Because I am not the body, I am spirit soul, I am never satisfied any body I attain. Just like I am not satisfied in any job, right? Always I want to change job. We are not satisfied with our life partners. Of course, in Indian families, there is some natural pressure. People don't change. But otherwise, people are always having many affairs. Nobody is satisfied anywhere. So because we are not satisfied, we desire enjoyment of different bodies. Thus, there is death. So the death is created because of our desires, because I want different kind of enjoyment.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. So it is mentioned that Lord Shiva also lives in those lower planetary
Yes.
system. But we understand that Lord Shiva also lives on Kailash.
Yeah, he lives on multiple places.
And generally demons live in the lower planetary system,
Correct.
it is mentioned. So what is the position of Lord Shiva in that way? Like he's
So Lord Shiva has taken the task of preaching to demons, delivering the demons. So Lord Shiva lives in crematorium also, along with that. So Lord Shiva lives in sattvic places, mountains. He lives in greatly tamasic places, crematoriums. Lives in lower planetary systems also. Just like Lord Vishnu resides in various places. There are 4 Vakunthas in this material universe. So there is Vaikuntha in those lower planetary systems also below that. So similarly, Lord Shiva also lives there.
As you mentioned that we have to serve pure devotees to get to Krishna. So as we know, Lord Shiva is also a pure devotee.
Correct.
If someone is serving Lord Shiva only, will he get back to Krishna or what?
Very good question. So that is why it is told, Shushusho Shraddhadhanasya Jnana Vairagya Yuktaya Pashyati Atmani Chatmanam Bhaktya Shrutagrahitaya. So this service has to be done Shrutagrahitaya according to Shruti Shastras. First of all, rules and regulations are there for service in order to make the service effective. And then Jnana Vairagya Yuktaya, the service must be done in knowledge. Then only we will make perfection. So the service, devotional service of Krishna or pure devotee is done in 3 ways. Sattvic, Rajasic and Tamasic way. Tamasic devotional service, Prabhupada gives example. Father is falling down in front of the deities in the temple. There is a small child. He will also fall down flat. We have seen in the temple. Child imitates father. Child does not know. He thinks father is sleeping. I also should sleep. He imitates. He does not know that father is doing dandavat. He is God in the temple. We are offering respects. But he falls down. This is called tamasic devotional service. Devotional service done in ignorance. He has no knowledge at all. So this kind of devotional service will make him closer to spiritual life, will bring him closer, but it will not give spiritual advancement. For example, any vegetable or flower which is used as an offering to Lord Krishna. Now he has sacrificed his life for Krishna. Bali Maharaj, when he sacrificed his life, he became pure devotee, Mahajan. Same task is done by vegetable also. So vegetable will become Mahajan. That pumpkin which was offered to Krishna, that pumpkin will become Mahajan. Why not? He did not do it consciously, voluntarily, in knowledge. Vegetable is almost unconscious, very low consciousness. So when it is used in the service of Krishna, he does not make any spiritual advancement. But he gets human form of life immediately, from where he can make spiritual advancement. So this is called Agyata Sukriti. When devotional service is done without knowledge of the devotional principles or knowledge of Supreme Lord, then a person accumulates pious credits to advance in spiritual life but does not advance. So that is why these demons are, when they are serving Lord Shiva, they are accumulating Agya Sukriti. But they are not making spiritual advancement. That happens only when they do in knowledge that Lord Shiva is pure devotee. I want to engage in service for getting pure devotional service.
Bro, you mentioned about doing devotional service.
About?
You mentioned about doing devotional services in full knowledge of.
Correct.
So,
Yeah.
but there are also examples of Lord Shiva giving Krishna Bhakti to his devotees like Narsi Mehta, and also Nimbarka Acharya. He
Yes.
guided him to
Yeah.
Chatushra Maharaj.
Yeah.
Also, there comes a story of how a mouse, he accidentally in a Vishnu temple, he entered and the
Yes.
wick of the
Yes.
lamp,
Yeah.
he fell into that,
Yes.
and because after the lamp was lit, and he got Vaikuntha planet.
Correct.
So these are exceptions. How do we
Yes, so
understand?
this is called Kripa Siddhi. What is Kripa Siddhi? I do not want to make spiritual advancement. I have no desire, but I am pushed to make spiritual advancement. Just like Jagai Mathai. They had no desire for making spiritual advancement, no knowledge also. Rather, they were very vengeful and they were hateful towards Nityanand Prabhu. They heard the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and for this they became pure devotees. So this is called Kripa Siddhi. Even without knowledge, somebody comes in contact with Krishna or pure devotee, they are free to give pure devotional service to anybody. Although these are very rare cases, but if they wish, just like in case of Nityanand Prabhu, this is possible. Online? Yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. In lower planetary system, is life duration less compared to middle level planetary system?
Looks like people are planning to shift to. We did good marketing. No, the life is minimal on this planet. The higher you go, life is very, very long. And on the lower planets also, life is very long. They have long duration.
If Bali Maharaj was pure devotee, why is he not in Krishna Loka?
So pure devotee is always in Krishna Loka. We have to understand Krishna Loka is not limited by time and space. Just like Lord Krishna is present everywhere, similarly Krishna Loka is also present anywhere where Krishna's service is happening. So wherever pure devotee is present, Krishna is always present in the heart of pure devotee. And whenever Krishna is present, wherever Krishna is present, that place is known as Krishna Loka. So thus Krishna Loka, although it exists in the spiritual world, but it expands itself wherever pure devotees are present. Thus it is not that pure devotee has to go to Krishna Loka. Wherever pure devotee is there, Krishna Loka is present there. Thus Bali Maharaj, even though he is within this universe, he is always in Krishna Loka. He is liberated in pure devotion service.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. You told Bhima went to Nagaloka by drowning in surface water, but it appears Nagaloka and these Atala Vitala are separate planets and not inside Earth.
They are within the earth. They are subterranean regions within the earth. Any other question?
And that is it.
We'll finish.
One question.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. So I have a question which is actually related to my personal experience.
Okay.
Like I have many friends who are actually atheists.
Okay.
They don't believe in God at all.
Yeah.
So, but they have achieved success, like kind of material success or the professional success they are doing.
Okay.
And they say that we only believe that if we do good karma, without devotion, nothing bad will happen to us.
Okay.
So my question is that, is it that they are getting some kind of advancement in terms of success, but spiritual advancement is not happening? So is it decided that right now everything is going smooth, but it is written that they will go to hell or anything like that? So that is what I wanted to know.
So if they don't engage in devotional service, why still they are getting material success, you want to ask?
Material success or any kind of success, like professional success?
Yes, so that is why we discussed the purpose of devotional service is not to get professional success or material success, to get material name, fame, power, beauty, wisdom, etc. If we follow the laws of nature, we do good activities, charitable activities, welfare activities, then we will become materially successful. So in this or previous lifetimes, they would have done that, and now they are getting the result of it.
Correct.
Just like Ravana, materially very powerful. Hiranyakashipu, materially very powerful, very opulent, very, very rich. So material opulences one can attain without worshipping Krishna. Worship of Krishna is meant for eternal benefit, to stop birth, death, old age, disease, and gain our spiritual position. And first part of your question, we will do simply good karma and then nothing bad will happen to us. So this is called Pashyan na pashyati. This is called craziness. How somebody can make such a statement? You do good activities, nothing bad will come to you. How much ever good you do, will it stop death? No. Will it stop death of our family members? No. So this is very bad thing. Death is very bad. And will it stop you do any good activity? Will it stop diseases? No. Will it stop old age? No. So thus we can understand doing good activities is not enough, and rather there is no correlation between the miseries of life and good activities. The miseries of life continue despite all good activities. So if we have to actually have a life where there are no difficulties, we have to take to devotional service. So people are working very hard just to solve artificial and temporary and not so great problems of life. Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita how we can understand somebody has become a scholar and learned. So this is mentioned in 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Janma mrityu jara vyadhi dukkha doshanu darshanam. When a person is able to understand the real problem of life, who is a real scientist? Who understands the real problem. What is the problem in the code? Who understands? A real coder. He is able to debug it very effectively. Other person may not be able to find out. So one who is able to find out the real problem of life, he is actually called a man of knowledge. And what is the real problem of life? Janma mrityu jara vyadhi. These are real problems. Death is a problem. Because how much ever rich you become, you get the company you want, you establish the company you want, you hire as many people you want, you become very strong, you marry the person you want, but ultimately when death comes, we have to leave all these things behind. So death is a real problem. Diseases are real problems. Old age is a real problem. So this has to be solved. And this can be solved only by
Devotional
spiritual
service.
life, yeah, not otherwise. We'll finish. Granthara Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Subscribe to our channel, and to get the latest updates, do not forget to press the bell icon. Hare Krishna.